Today, we're taking you on a road trip across Nevada, but not to the bright lights of Vegas. We're exploring 10 towns on the brink, places that could soon become ghost towns. The signs of the looming housing crash are everywhere here. We'll walk the empty streets, see the abandoned homes, and meet the people fighting to stay. This isn't just about buildings, it's about lost dreams and fading communities. What happens when a town's economy collapses? We're about to find out, so buckle up and let's dive into the heart of Nevada before these towns vanish. Our first stop, a place with a legendary past and an uncertain future. Welcome to Tonopah, once known as the Queen of the Silver Camps, a place where fortunes were made and lost in the blink of an eye. A century ago, this desert city was alive with the clamor of miners, the hopes of dreamers, and the promise of silver hidden beneath the earth. People flocked here from all over the country, chasing prosperity and a better life. Now the grand old buildings stand silent, their ornate facades and weathered woodwork reminders of a lost era. Once these halls echoed with laughter and music, today only the wind moves through them. The population has been shrinking for years, but the recent housing crash has accelerated the decline, leaving entire blocks deserted and eerily quiet. Homes that once echoed with life now sit empty, their windows staring blankly into the desert, as if waiting for someone to return. The paint peels, the roofs sag, and the desert slowly reclaims what was once vibrant. We spoke to a lifelong resident, one of just 3 families left on his block. He remembers when every house was filled, when neighbors gathered for barbecues and children played in the streets. He pointed to a Victorian home that sold for pennies. The owners just walked away, unable to find work or hope. The house, once a symbol of pride, now stands as a monument to what's been lost. The mining boom is a distant memory, and with no jobs, hope is fading. The old equipment rusts in the sun, relics of a time when Tonopah was the heart of Nevada's economy. For every lived-in house, 2 or 3 are abandoned. The contrast is stark, one home with a tended garden, the next with shattered windows and weeds growing wild. The local diner is nearly empty, the grocery store barely hanging on, and the school's enrollment is plummeting. Businesses that once thrived now struggle to keep their doors open, and classrooms echo with the absence of children. People aren't leaving by choice, they're being forced out by economic collapse. Families pack up generations of memories, uncertain if they'll ever return. Tonopah is at a crossroads. Will it become just another ghost town, or can it find a way to survive? The future hangs in the balance, and the choices made now will shape what's to come. Right now, optimism is hard to find. The streets are empty, and hope feels as faded as the paint on the old town sign. This is what an economic crash really looks like: storefronts shuttered, dreams deferred, and a community struggling to hold on. The silence here is heavy, pressing in on every corner, a constant reminder of what's been lost and what's at stake. The American dream feels very far away, but for those who remain, there's still a glimmer of resilience, a hope that somehow, Tonopah's story isn't over yet. Next up is Ely, a small town nestled in the high desert of eastern Nevada, surrounded by rugged mountains and endless skies. Ely is a place deeply proud of its railroad heritage, where the past is carefully preserved in museums and old depots that stand as reminders of a different era. The Nevada Northern Railway, with its vintage steam trains, draws tourists from across the country, eager to experience a piece of living history and ride the rails like generations before. But as charming as these attractions are, history alone can't sustain a community or provide for the families who call Ely home. The mining and rail jobs that once fueled the local economy have vanished, leaving behind a ripple effect of decline that touches every corner of the town. Neighborhoods are now filled with for sale signs. Homes that have been in families for decades now sit empty, waiting for buyers who may never come. The housing crash hit hard, trapping many residents in homes they can't sell, unable to move on or start fresh elsewhere. As opportunities dry up, the sense of community fades, with families packing up and leaving for bigger cities in search of work and a better future. We saw a park that was once filled with the laughter of children, now eerily quiet, the swings moving only in the wind, a symbol of the town's fading spirit. Ely is undeniably rich in history, with beautiful old buildings and a proud past, but today it is poor in opportunity and hope for the next generation. Its beautiful buildings and storied streets can't hide the economic decay that's crept in, as more businesses close and dreams are put on hold. The steam train's whistle, once a sound of prosperity and progress, now feels like a haunting echo of better days that seem further and further away. The future here is uncertain, With many wondering if Eli can reinvent itself or if it will simply fade into memory, another casualty of changing times. In the end, history can't pay the bills, and the struggle to survive continues for those who remain. Now we're in Caliente, a town defined by its stunning Spanish-style train depot, a building that once buzzed with life and activity, serving as the heart of the community. But Caliente is also defined by its isolation. Tucked away in the vast Nevada desert, it's hours from any major city. Once a vital railroad hub, its remoteness was an asset, drawing travelers and commerce. Now, that same remoteness is a curse, cutting it off from opportunity and growth. When the railroad downsized, jobs vanished overnight. The tracks that once brought prosperity now sit rusting and unused, a stark reminder of better days. Streets that were once lively are now lined with empty homes, overgrown yards, and boarded windows. The sense of abandonment is hard to ignore. The housing crash hit Caliente especially hard, making it nearly impossible for residents to sell their homes or leave in search of better opportunities. Many are trapped, watching their town slowly fade. The local high school's graduating classes shrink every year as more families move away and fewer children fill the halls. "We're losing families, and with them, our future," a teacher told us, her voice tinged with sadness and worry for the next generation. Caliente's original reason for being is gone, and tourism, while hopeful, can't fill the gap left by the railroad. Businesses struggle to stay open, and the downtown feels emptier with each passing year. The hot springs remain, a natural wonder that once drew visitors from afar. But even these can't stop the town from fading fast, as fewer people come to soak in their warmth. The Grand train station stands mostly empty, a silent, imposing symbol of a town left behind by progress and time. The final train may have already left Caliente, taking with it the last hopes of revival. Its isolation, once a source of pride and prosperity, is now its undoing. Caliente stands as a poignant reminder of how quickly fortunes can change in America's most remote places. Pioche feels like a Wild West movie set, steeped in history and grit. But the mines are closed, jobs are scarce, and the population is dwindling. Historic homes are crumbling, too expensive to repair and too cheap to sell. The town's spirit is strong, but the economy is weak. Boot Hill Cemetery overlooks a town slowly fading into obscurity. The Old West's resilience lives on, but it can't stop the decline. Without new opportunities, Pioche risks becoming just another ghost town. Here, history is everywhere, but the future is slipping away. Hawthorne's story is different, built not on gold, but on gunpowder. The Army Depot once meant stable jobs and a thriving town. But military cutbacks have gutted the local economy. Rows of homes once filled with military families now sit empty, for sale signs gathering dust. The housing crash hit hard, families can't sell, and many are forced to foreclose. Hawthorne's reliance on the depot is now its greatest weakness. Decisions made far away determine the town's fate. The sense of order and pride remains, but the future is uncertain. Hawthorne is in retreat, left behind by a changing economy. The battle for survival is getting harder every day. Lovelock is famous for its love locks, a symbol of lasting commitment, but permanence is an illusion here. The town is emptying out. Years of drought and economic pressure have hit farmers hard, triggering a wave of foreclosures. Abandoned homes sit just blocks from the romantic town square. The housing crash is the final blow for many families. Tourists come to celebrate love, but locals face an uncertain future. The Lovelocks may last, but the town itself is coming undone. In Lovelock, even love can't stop the exodus. Goldfield was once Nevada's largest city, built on a gold rush frenzy. Today, it's a haunting shell. Abandoned buildings outnumber the occupied. The Grand Goldfield Hotel stands empty, a monument to lost fortunes. The silence is overwhelming. The ghosts of the past feel like the only residents. Businesses are gone, and the housing market barely exists. Properties sell for pennies, if at all. We found homes frozen in time, personal belongings left behind decades ago. Goldfield is the ultimate boom and bust town. Its dramatic rise was matched by an even harder fall. The town has already crossed into ghost town territory. The gold is gone, and so are most of the people. Goldfield's story is a warning. Fortunes can vanish overnight. In Wells, once a bustling crossroads for travelers, the decline is unmistakable. An earthquake in 2008 devastated downtown, and recovery never came. Now, the looming housing crash threatens to finish the job. Young people are leaving, and no one is moving in to replace them. Neighborhoods feel half-empty, pride replaced by resignation. Businesses that relied on highway traffic are closing their doors. Each closure chips away at the town's spirit. Wells is losing its identity as a welcoming stopover. The crossroads remain, but fewer people choose to stay. Wells stands at a dangerous crossroads, its future uncertain. Battle Mountain once wore its Armpit of America title with pride and humor. Built on mining, the town is now facing its toughest challenge as mines close and jobs vanish. Neighborhoods built for workers are eerily quiet, homes empty and yards returning to desert. The housing crash is terrifying for families already struggling. Property values have cratered, trapping people in unsellable homes. Even the community pool is closed, a symbol of lost amenities. The town's defiant spirit remains, but pride can't stop foreclosures. Without a new economic engine, Battle Mountain's fight for survival may be lost. The community is being stripped away, one family at a time. Yarrington's economy was built on green gold, alfalfa, not minerals. Now drought and rising costs are pushing family farms to the brink. As farms fail, families leave, and the jobs that supported them disappear. The housing market is stagnant. Beautiful old farmhouses sit empty. The looming housing crash is a nightmare for those whose land is their only asset. The fairgrounds, once a hub of community life, are now quiet. Each year, fewer people remain to keep traditions alive. Yarrington's story shows that rural Nevada's crisis isn't just about mining. The fields that once promised prosperity now lie fallow. The future here depends on the next rainfall, and a lot of hope. That's our journey. 10 towns, 10 stories of struggle and resilience. These aren't just headlines, they're real communities on the edge. The American dream feels distant here, but the history and humanity remain. Every empty building tells a story worth hearing. If these stories moved you, please subscribe and help us keep them alive. Your support lets us share the realities of forgotten America. Thanks for coming along on this eye-opening journey.